9 minutes. Minus 8 minutes. Minus 7 minutes. Minus 6 minutes. Minus 5 minutes. minus 3 minutes. Minus 2 minutes. Minus 1 minute. Stand by.
How about that?
Well, buckle up, everybody. Happy Stat Holiday, wherever it is, wherever you are. It is Monday. We're live. In some places they're working, in others they aren't. What I know is we're here with the RP Show. Producer Corey and me. There's no Scuffy. He's gone to the lake. Hello. So you got just me for hour one, and then in hour two, a very special guest for all of us. The Grey Cup Kid, Tadito Kornegay, the pride of Trenton, New Jersey, is going to be joining us from New Jersey coming up in hour two. Tad Kornegay, and they call him the Grey Cup Kid, and he says he's got a special surprise for us coming up in hour two when we go to Where Across Nevada. But for now, we're streaming on Game Plus, YouTube, the RP Show's through YouTube, WQVZ. And again, it's just me solo with you in hour one, so that gives us a lot of time. As a matter of fact, might as well stop Mickey Mousen as we roll into the quick six show topics. In point one, which I'll tell you, as always, is brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel Group. Weekend wrap, okay? Weekend. I want you all to settle in, fill up your coffee. Tell me what's got your attention right now. As you know, people say we don't need to watch SportsCenter. We watch the RP Show. It's got everything in there, and that's what we're going to do over the course of certainly the next hour. 902-518-3033. That is the text line for our friends at Western Dodge. For me, it was a whole lot of baseball and some CFL watching. And trust me, everybody, football is points 2 and 3. In the Canadian Hour, a hell of a lot of CFL talk. As a matter of fact, We got a great poll question. They're always great for EMJ Marketing Elite Speakers Bureau. But here's a sub question for you. Friends of mine went to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton Saturday and had they were Rider fans, and they had their sign taken away by security at the gate. I don't want to name him. I'm not that person anymore. It's their thing. All I can tell you is my buddy said his wife is violent because their daughter made this sign, and I just said, hey, tell her, welcome to road trips. That's what that happens. Have you ever been going into a road stadium and had your sign confiscated? Because that's what happened to my friends, the Rider fans, Saturday night at Commonwealth Stadium. Now, they left happy, I think. Riders won 28-26. But anyways, everybody is saying to me, how's your weekend? A lot of baseball. 2 games, record-breaking games. For our Millers, we set a franchise record for wins. We just had so much fun. Had a family family and friends barbecue Saturday night. Saskatchewan summer, it's what you do. Everything's great. But to be here on the air on a Monday is also great. And I'm kind of getting a bit of a bang out of that because I was thinking about the 20 years that I was the voice of the Rough Riders. You were working all those summer weekends, and that's when my kids were small, which I didn't mind calling the games, but having to work on a stat holiday when all your friends and family are at the lake, that sucked, and I felt bad for my kids, but I had to work. Had to put food on the table. Now, that's not a thing, so I'm happy to be here with you talking sports on this Monday for 2 hours, and quite frankly, keeping you entertained, and who's kidding who, entertaining myself. There are actually text messages that have come in ahead of the show. They found us there, 902-518-3033, texting us ahead of the show, hoping to jump the queue, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to save those for after the break. There's some really good discussion starters, by the way. We got a lot of things to get to as I'm the Larry King of sports talk here. I don't mind going solo anymore. It used to scare the hell out of me, especially when I started doing sports talk 16 years ago. Now I don't care. You're stuck with me. Bentley in Southie. You're on the air. Hello. I'll just say this as we're going to soon turn our attention to the CFL. Join CFL greats Adam Bighill, Willie Jefferson, and Jake Ceresna on a 7-day cruise of a lifetime for CFL fans departing Fort Lauderdale, February 20th, 2027. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for CFL fans. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel, Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. I just got that out of the way. The weekend was great. It was hot. I'm loving the weather. I'm loving the baseball. I'm loving everything, actually. And happy being here with you. But let's go to point 2. Speaking of the BC Lions, Uniglobe Carefree Travel is the official travel partner of the RP Show and the CFL's BC Lions. We discussed it lengthily on Friday's Football Friday in Hour 1. We had the resident Lions fan with us, Kevin the Medium. Huge upset victory. How were your picks, by the way? Nobody had the BC Lions going into Winnipeg and winning Thursday night 35-19. We already talked about that. Caden Salter set a BC Lions record in his first ever pro start. The Colorado Buffalo's great. We can call him a great, can't we? Caden Salter rushing for 160 yards, setting a record for a BC Lions quarterback, rookie or otherwise. 160 yards rushing in a game. BC wins at Winnipeg 35-19. Where are the Bomber fans? Have you recovered enough? You see, I got my Jets gear on today. Let's hear from the Winnipeggers. Friday night, the most predictable of games. Montreal beat Ottawa 34-13. The most predictable of the Week 19 games. Montreal winning at Ottawa 34-13. The Red Blacks fired their defensive coordinator, William Fields, after the game. They've cut receiver Eugene Lewis. And I'll just be perfectly honest with you, I just feel terrible for the Red Blacks and their fans because we've all been there with our teams. It's just a crappy place to be. And then Ottawa's coming in here this week, which I'm getting to. I watched some of the Calgary-Hamilton game. There's a doubleheader on Saturday. I'm not going to spend 6 hours on my ass in front of the TV. I still have NFL Network coverage to watch, too. Calgary Stampeders beat the Hamilton Tiger Cats 44-20. What's Calgary now? 4-4. They're getting it together. Like I say, don't worry about those early losses when you're a football team because that's when you go to work in the lab. and Calgary's gone to work fixing things. Hamilton's lost Bo Levi Mitchell, and their coach, Scott Milanovich, saying after the game, it's concerning they haven't been able to find a quarterback to win games. What was the kid's name? Harrison Frost. They called him Frosty the Throw Man, which is cute. Let's say a little further. He melts when the heat rises. How about that? That's the RP add-on to the Frosty the Throw Man. Cute little thing. Dolegala can't get it done. Trey Ford clearly can't get it done. Harrison Frost, Frosty the Throw Man, can't get it done. Hamilton season's in the crapper. That also sucks. Been there too. I got a story on that. I'll tell that when we come back. When you know that the season's over, how the hell do you finish it? And Saskatchewan beat Edmonton 28-26 in a thriller at Commonwealth State. How do you kick a guy out for diving? That's a thing? Kicking a guy out of the game for flopping? Because that's what happened. Two veteran quarterbacks, Trevor Harris, Cody Fajardo, made for a great game, went right down to the wire. So, yeah, we're into the football. We got a lot to get to. We'll be back in a moment here on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the diehard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection, booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your apple, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As you know by now, when we talk hockey, it's brought to you by the Mad Greek Eatery. I'm just going to tell you, probably not going to talk a lot of hockey today, but whether it's pizza, ribs, or authentic Greek favorites, make it the Mad Greek Eatery tonight, open until 11 p.m. Order online, pick up, or dine in at themadgreekeatery.com. Of my summer in Saskatchewan, at least Moose Jaw, it's the restaurant I've been to the most. That and Pump Jacks, because we support our sponsors, and I was just there on Saturday, and actually there was a hell of a lot of hockey talk there, but that's not what we're doing here today. It's a holiday Monday. Welcome to the RP Show, everybody. It's just me and you viewers, you're not letting me down. You never let me down. I could sit here and talk for an hour in the box, like a lot of guys used to do in this business, but I'd rather have the going back and forth with you. So Rob from Las Vegas, who's a Blue Bombers fan, writes in. He says, the Blue Bombers can't hurt us this week. No, because they're on a bye. I see what you did there. Virginia Eric checking in. He likes the nickname Virginia Eric I gave him. Thank you, Virginia Eric. Don't forget to hit the like button. You're right. Bo in Saskatoon says hit the like button. If you're watching streaming, hit the like button. That apparently helps us out substantially. I was talking about my friends going to Edmonton and having their sign taken away and confiscated. You guys are making me laugh, which is good. It's a good start to the week. Carlos in Indiana says, were they protesting the rule changes? No, it was like a 5-year-old kid, her sign. Okay. Jeff the Stamps fan says, what did the sign say? It doesn't matter. She's a 5-year-old kid. I can't imagine it being that offensive. I guess my point is, what have you had confiscated? I've never had anything confiscated at a sporting event, ever. I've had things confiscated at the airport. A tube of toothpaste that's too big. I told you I had some stories here. A damn CD player. A CD. Remember, that's how old we are. Actually, now that I think about it, it wasn't me. It was Chris Zarka. We were flying commercial. The Canuck truck, choo-choo, number 33. He had a CD player confiscated at this. We were going through. He's like, what is this? They're like, it could start a fire. Zarka's like, it's not going to start a fire. It's a CD player. But that's at the airport. My friends had their sign confiscated at Commonwealth Stadium. It was a 5-year-old girl. I don't know what it said. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. My question to you is, have you ever had anything confiscated at the gates of a sporting event? Airports don't count because they'll take anything. Van. Two Erics. It's causing me problems. Virginia Eric says Frosty the Throwman didn't do well in the UFL either, really. Well, that's the thing. I mean, the Ticats are scrambling. They lost their quarterback, and I said that I would tell you a story. It was, a lot of you were watching. What's up, Coach DeBuck? I'll get to you all in a second, but week 1, 2015, Darian Durant, our quarterback, goes down, pops an Achilles. I'm sure a lot of you were watching. Non-contact. First, I don't know if it was the first series, but for the first quarter for sure. Blows an Achilles. Everybody knew. Season done. And we're on the phone trying to find a quarter. Brought in all these quarterbacks. Do you guys remember that? We brought in Kevin Glenn. We brought in, if that was the same year, because the year before, Darian hurt a tendon in his throwing arm and he went down in the fall, and we brought back Kerry Joseph with Tino Sunseri, Seth Daggy, all these guys. Nobody could win. Same thing happened in 2015. History repeats itself. You lose your starting quarterback, you're done. It's a crappy feeling in week 1, the first quarter, when you know your season's over. And that's basically what happened to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And you wonder why the QBs get all the money. Jason from Red Deer writes in. He says, good morning, Rod and squad. Man, what a weekend. Or should I say, what a Saturday in the CFL. No, they were great games. Coach Matt DeBuck checking in from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, says, Gino, he's talking about Gino Lewis getting cut by the Ottawa Redblacks. This is a big cap with a lack of production over the past few years. 0-7, I'm not surprised. That's another thing the football guys are saying. Does Ryan Dinwiddie regret going to Ottawa? Does Jeff Reinbold regret going to Ottawa? Listen, I think the Ottawa fans come here because we're not going to be talking about the Red Blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's so bad there. Which reminds me, speaking of the weekends, I had to run into the Queen City to get some things done. There's no dry cleaners in Moose Jaw. It is what it is. There's no dry cleaners. In some ways, it's a little primitive with things. So I dropped by Mosaic Stadium. I bought a little mini helmet. And DeBuck, this does sort of pertain to you in a way. Okay? I got my set of CFL mini helmets that I bought at a garage sale this summer. But in true Saskatchewan fashion, some are missing, including the Rider helmets. I'm like, I'll go get a Rider mini helmet. As that I'm in the Rider store, which is NFL quality, there's no doubt. There's an Ottawa Red Blacks helmet and a Montreal Alouettes helmet. And I'm like, $60 each. I'm not dropping $180 on 3 helmets. I bought the Rider helmet, and they're out in the trunk of my car right now. Or I would have brought them in. I forgot. And I go to the till. DeBuck, listen to me. It's like I'm talking to you right now. Just so you know, I'm not offended in any way, shape, or form by this. High school-age girl working the till, no idea who I am. I wouldn't expect that she would. I've been gone 7 years. She was 9 when I left the football team. Was fired. So she's like, are you in our system? Let me type in your name. Yeah, Pedersen. No staff discount, obviously. No alumni discount. Nothing. Full price. I'm fine with it. But can we all understand something here? The movie's over. Leave the theater. It's over. That era. Vintage Sasko writes in and says, some may argue I had my dignity taken away during the 1999 season at Taylor Field. What a year. Oof. 3-15, hashtag Slack Attack. We can sit here and tell stories, which, by the way, the Grey Cup Kid is our guest today. Tad Kornegay coming up next hour from Trenton, New Jersey. The Grey Cup Kid. I got it written down here. Hamilton, Fordham, Hall of Famer, by the way. Fordham University in Manhattan. That's where Lombardi came from. Hamilton Tiger Cats, Saskatchewan Roughriders, BC Lions, Calgary Stampeders, 2-time Grey Cup champion, divisional all-star, Tad Kornegay, the Grey Cup Kid, coming up in hour 2. Saying it again, the movie's over. Please leave the theater. Rod and the Riders, that movie's over. I'm okay with it. Everybody needs to be okay with it. The young girl behind the counter, very okay with it. BW writes in from Edmonton and says, wow, wasn't expecting to see you on, Rod. Awesome. You guys are all tuning in late, which is fine. But as I was saying earlier, when I had young kids, remember those days, DeBuck? You and I are the same age. We're empty nesters now. When my kids were little, I hated working all weekends, all stat holidays. It is what it is. At least at the end of it all, I got a nice little plaque saying thanks for that. Now the kids are gone. I don't mind working on the stat, keeping you all entertained. It's fun. Used to hate. Now I see why employers want to hire young single guys or girls. Not family men or women. Scott in Vancouver says the Red Blacks should approach Jock Climie. For what? To play? Jeff the Stamps fan says Ottawa is another classic example of how a massive February free agency spree doesn't equate to winning. There's a lot of levels of what's going on with Ottawa, but we're trying to keep this as a positive show. Brent's watching in Wellington, Florida, says, is it hockey season yet? That's a no, dog. You must not have been watching earlier. I said when we talk hockey, it's brought to you by the Mad Greek Eatery, and there's no hockey going on. It's August the 3rd. So please enjoy what we're talking about, or we'll see you in hockey season. Jeff the Stamps fan says, why would Moose Jaw need a dry cleaner? Sweatpants do not require it. LOL. Let me ask you this, Jeff. What are you wearing right now? What are you wearing right now, Jeff? I will bet $100 you're wearing sweatpants. Anyways, 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033 is the text line. It's brought to you by our friends at Western Dodge. Are you ready for a new ride? Head to Western Dodge where the deals are real and the service is legendary. Here we go. The text line's full. Bob writes in, good morning, Rod. Bob from Medicine Hat. Watching your show on a holiday Monday, heading to Regina this Friday for the Ottawa Riders game. Have a great day, my friend. That's the big problem here. We start the playoffs Friday night with our baseball team. We don't know who we're playing yet, but we clinched the franchise record 39th victory yesterday. Our playoffs. Game 1, Friday night here. Same night as Saskatchewan's hosting Ottawa at Mosaic Stadium. That's a big problem. Not a problem for me. Movie's over. Please leave the theater. You got to go home. You can't stay here. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. The movie's over. Wayne in BC writes in, he says, I don't really blame the Red Blacks for cutting Geno Lewis since he hasn't done much for them. However, they are wrong for not utilizing him. That's, by the way, a tale as old as time, and it is the Canadian hour. That's why I don't mind. If that's why that's what you guys want to talk about today, I'm down with it. It's August. We are going to get to baseball in a second. A lot of NFL talk in hour 2, just so you know. But I'm seeing this stuff on social media. Again, who needs open line anymore when we got Facebook comments and Twitter? And they're going, Eugene Lewis never worked in Ottawa. Do you ever think the team's been terrible for 10 years? Is that even a possibility? Geno Lewis just didn't work there. Who has? Please tell me who has. But everybody wants to blame the player. That's just the way it goes. Kirk writes in from Toronto, says, hi, Rod. Kirk, up in the Madawaska Valley today. Steve Simmons in Sunday's column says the Blue Bombers stink. I mean, really stink. Maybe Mike O'Shea made the wrong decision choosing to stay in Winnipeg rather than leave to coach the Argonauts. I'm guessing if he looks at his paycheck, he's not regretting it. Bentley writes in quite a few things. I'll read one of your points, maybe 2. He writes, he says, Rod, I was reading your top 10 and had these thoughts. They're available right now in the Monday Morning Goldie, but it's also in my newsletter. He says, number 1, attendance in the CFL starting to rise. Well, I sent a message at the end of April, and it stands true. Spring football doesn't work. We're competing against NHL playoffs and the start of MLB, a spring league sport. Football is a fall sport. Well, what I was saying is if you have noticed, if you're watching the games, like look at Calgary the other day, stadium's full. At Montreal, it seems to be full. Calgary, they'll never go. I don't know what it'll take. Winnipeg's fine. It's probably going to be a big crowd on Saskatchewan Friday night. I'm just saying the stadium seemed to be getting a little fuller here earlier in the calendar. But when you think about it, it is week 10. And to be honest with you, I don't want to go down the rules road. I don't want to go down the schedule road. Like the CFL has worked so hard and so many of us fought to move the season up. They've actually starting to do it. And they're going to start May long next year for God knows how long. Let's not please bitch about that because we've been fighting for it forever. The games are great. The product's great. And maybe the people are just buying tickets now and tuning in because we started early. Took a while to get their attention. I don't know. And Bentley also says, thanks for the info on Moose Jaw Miller's name. That's our ball club. He says, we need to tell people this. How many people know the Regina Pats name? Our baseball club's called the Moose Jaw Miller Express, and it's paying homage to the Millers, the men and women who worked in the Robin Hood flour mill 100 years ago. This team's been called the Miller Express for 100 years because of the guys and gals that worked in that flour mill for Robin Hood. That's our ball club. Hottest team in the league. We'll get to some NFL, more of the CFL, lots coming up right after this.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the diehard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your apple, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina. This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Holiday Monday. For those that observe, it is no... Everybody's writing in. Thanks for working on a holiday. It ain't no... we're not saving any lives here today. Not on this show, but it is fun talking with you. 902-518-3033 is the text line. We got some good stuff there. We kind of got hung up. I said point number one of the Quick Six show topics for Uniglobe Carefree Travel was, what was your weekend wrap? It's like everybody was doing something different, which is cool. Welcome to summertime. Point two, CFL Week 9. I'm not clearly done with that. And it's only Monday. I'm not going to look ahead to Week 10 just yet. But let me get to a couple other things here. Pump Jack's Picks, Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. I went to Pump Jack's for Saturday with some hockey guys, and we talked hockey for 2 hours. It was great. It's not what we're going to do here today. This is where the sponsors are. This is what people are talking about. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And my picks, I went 2 for 2 in picks, by the way. NFL training camp news. So I go to ESPN.com. Bing, bing, bing. Here's the headlines today. D lineman Jadeveon Clowney signs with the Texans, returning to where it all began. 2, Saints wide receiver Polk surprisingly retires. Soreness keeps Rams D lineman Myles Garrett out third straight day. And veteran guard Andrus Peat, a 3-time Pro Bowl selection over 11 NFL seasons, has announced his retirement from the NFL. So that's just today's headlines. Now, if you watch, I said I wasn't going to spend all weekend indoors in front of the television. And we had some great baseball games. As I said, we had a family and friends barbecue Saturday night, which was great. I feel like it's a Saskatchewan thing, but I think they do it outside of here as well. But I did spend as much time as I could, as much as time allowed, watching the Back Together weekend on NFL Network. They only do it once a year. And I was sitting there watching it with our business manager, Joe, and he just said, because I have the TV mind, right? That's what I do. I said, I just love this every year. This is one of the highlights of my year, Back Together weekend. And we watched it for a few minutes. He's like, what do you love about it? And I said, well, look at it. They're on the sidelines of every training camp. A guy and a gal in a chair, and they bring in the coach, and they bring in the star players. They just rotate them through it. And we bing, all across the NFL. I don't know why anybody wouldn't think that's amazing. And we particularly got hung up on Raiders training camp. I'm going to get into this more next hour, of course, but they brought in the first-year coach, Clint Kubiak. Like, be honest with you, if I can morph the two leagues here, CFL and NFL, the only real thing the CFL's been missing over the last several years, and I don't know if it's getting better or worse, is hype. That game Saturday in Edmonton was hyped up, and there was 30,000 plus for the first time in 10 years there. Hype. That's all it's missing. The game's great. The players are great. Coaches are great. And that is the players and coaches getting in front of the media. Because a lot of these leagues come to me and say, hey, Rod, how do we get the media interested? I don't know. Pick up the phone and call the paper, call the radio station, call the local influencers. For God's sakes. Yeah, but that's hard. That's work. Marketing takes money. NFL's doing it. I don't know. I don't know how the NFL can do it, and you can't. Rant over. But I quite enjoyed sitting there listening to Clint Kubiak being interviewed by David Carr. Or was it Derek Carr? One of the two. I get the two mixed up, although I think it was David Carr. And he's, I played for your dad in Houston. What did you learn from your dad? So instead of seeing Clint Kubiak doing football speak at a podium, where, by the way, can you do me a favor? Go look at any coach. John Schneider, we'll forget about him. Hockey or football coach, when they're doing a news conference, you tell me, because I'm always looking for this, how many of them are smiling? How many of them actually look like they're enjoying what they do? Just so you know, they really aren't. Away from the stadium, great guys. I know them. In the job, dealing with the media who they don't like, answering inane questions. That's why I don't even stick around for the news conferences anymore. They're just pissed off. They don't even want to be there. It's very evident. Look at John Tortorella, Exhibit A. But Kubiak, he's just relaxed. What'd you learn from your dad? He goes, well, I learned a lot from my dad, but I learned a lot from other guys. And this, it was just so good. And I just find it funny that all the questions were, well, besides that, were about Fernando Mendoza and bringing him along, what kind of kid he is, what have you learned about him? And it just reminds me of Happy Gilmore and Shooter McGavin. All the media wants to go talk to Happy Gilmore. Shooter McGavin's over here. Hi, I'm over here winning. Kirk's like, I'm over here quarterbacking the ones. Do you want to see how Brock Bowers is playing Genty? No. All they want to talk about is Fernando Mendoza, which might be a good thing. I don't know. But anyways, it's just, I now saw the Edmonton players doing a media tour last week. Cody Fajardo was at Global. I'm like, is it that hard? I haven't seen any of that for years out of there. Or for that matter, most places. That's what you got to do. Generate hype. It's been missing. And speaking of that, I mean, Coach Matt DeBuck writes in and says, I'll have to find it here because there are a lot of comments coming in today. He says, Rod, have you seen any content from Zachy CFL? He's been putting out a lot of content during the week. Yes, I've seen it. What about it? I've seen it. Yeah. You've sent it to me. So, yeah, I've seen it. For our P1 viewer, BW, he says, I walked my daughter down the aisle on Saturday. Never knew she could look like that. The sun was shining for an outdoor wedding. Married a great guy. Well, that is worthy. Congratulations, BW. You've been watching this show almost since day one. I'm glad you had a great day. Married a great guy, he says, so that is good news. And thanks for showing up here today to talk about it. 902-518-3033. We do have to talk about this. I think my buddy Brent from Wellington got the point on the hockey. There is no hockey talk. It's baseball, football. I'm not going to talk about tennis. I'm not going to talk about soccer. I'm not going to talk about golf. The hockey people don't even want to talk hockey right now. They're all at the lake. Leave them alone. Take a break. Kevin Gausman's time with the Blue Jays has come to an end. The veteran righty was traded by the Blue Jays to the Chicago Cubs on Sunday in return for outfielder Brett Bateman and infielder Ty Southacene. Gausman signed a 5-year, $110 million deal with the Blue Jays December 21st of 2021 and has been one of Toronto's most reliable starters for 5 seasons. A year removed from playing in the World Series, Toronto finds itself a seller ahead of baseball's trade deadline today. Jays last in the American League East. I saw my good friend Trent Frazier. He went to ChatGPT to figure out the mathematical chances of the Blue Jays claiming a wild card spot today. And I'm like, number one, did you see this? The other day I heard this. Maybe one of you people told me. ChatGPT is 80% right. That's not good enough. That's not good enough in my world. So I'm not really going to ChatGPT for much info. A lot of what I get is wrong. But I'm like, guys, you got to go to ChatGPT to figure out what the Blue Jays want. They don't have a chance. What's the point? They just traded Kevin Gausman. Does that give you any idea what their intentions are? They're not even trying to get a wild card spot. They're sellers, getting back prospects. It's over. I don't need ChatGPT to tell me that. Yeah, and it was Friday that I wrote into ChatGPT. I did. I mean, it's not like I don't use it. I don't use it for facts. I said, what causes ChatGPT? It came back and said, why do you ask? I wrote them back and said, I forget. What causes ADHD? Why do you ask? I forget. I think it was, how do you know that you have ADHD? That's what it was. Hour 1 of the RP show is brought to you by Suds. Are you stuck for gift ideas? Suds gift cards, available online at our location or at Costco. The ultimate for anyone who loves a clean ride. Visit sudsregina.com. And they also bring you our newsletter every Sunday, which everywhere I go, people tell me they love it. And if you love it that much, go support our sponsors of the newsletter, primarily Suds. There's big NCAA news. We got more CFL talk to get to. And, of course, Tad Kornegay, the Grey Cup kid, coming up in hour 2. It's the RP show. We'll be right back.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the diehard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, it's a great start to the week. It's no noble feat that we're here working on a holiday, but thank you to producer Corey for doing that. I guess we should tell them Friday we will not be on the air because of a programming conflict. So just so you know, say it all evens out. Like life, it all evens out. I truly do believe that. Let me just, I mentioned the Gosman thing. Kirk in Toronto writes, and he says, thanks, Kevin Gosman, for your 5 years as a Toronto Blue Jay. You are an officer and a gentleman and will be missed. We all love Gosman. Maybe he'll come back one day. I don't know, but he's on an expiring contract. He's going to the Cubs. We wish him well. And so, by the way, that was what was filling up my timeline. Everybody loves Kevin Gosman. Seems like a great guy. Big role in winning the American League last year, no doubt. It does feel good to put a pennant up on the wall, there's no doubt. But the biggest thing was Tarek Skubal going from the Tigers to the Dodgers, and I saw people that I didn't even know followed baseball, which I don't think they do follow baseball, but they were going, how is this allowed to happen? Every single year, the Dodgers get the guy. Every year. In free agency, trade deadline, the Dodgers get the guy. We all know why. Because there is no cap in baseball. There's a luxury tax, and if you don't already know that, what are we even talking about it? But the reason I said we got a great poll question today, it is, will you follow Major League Baseball after the work stoppage? Like somebody wrote in here and said, how do we know there's going to be a work stoppage? There's just going to be, please stop questioning everything, okay? I feel like, did your parents not hit you? Like mine did. So that's why I don't sit and ask these questions. It's the way it is. Whack. You didn't get that, I guess. So trust me, there's going to be a work stoppage. Stop asking. So the point is, I mean, I would prefer to just talk about the games. But when the games are affected by stuff like the Dodgers getting all the players, or when you have a team that you cheer for that doesn't have a chance, like if you're a Pirates fan or a Royals fan, or even, let's be honest, a Marlins fan, they've had a couple mild spikes this year, but they didn't have a chance. Not when you play in the same division as the Dodgers, especially, or same league as the Dodgers especially. So my interest really only got rekindled in baseball from working in the Western Canadian Baseball League, and then I realized I was reminded of how great of a game it is because of the people and the pace and all the. I really enjoy it now. But am I sitting down to watch anybody that's not the Blue Jays? Not really. I really can't name you any more than one Marlin. I think Sandy Alcantara, is he still there? I don't know. It's just because my focus has been in other places. But anyways, the poll question is, will you follow MLB post-work stoppage? Because there's going to be one. There just is. Some sides want the cap. Others say they don't. There's a fight over that. I don't know. I don't really care. That's my interest level. And I could name you the starting 9 on every team in the majors in the 80s. I could. If we didn't have the NBA in Canada then, I didn't follow the NFL. Not many of you did in Canada. Let's be honest. Stats say that. So now if they strike again, lockout, whatever it is, are you going to be watching? I said yes. I follow my team, the Blue Jays. I will watch the World Series if it's on. But I'm not paying, by the way, for streaming. I've told you that. I'm not paying extra streaming fees to watch MLB. I've drawn the line. I pay extra in the States to watch the NHL. I'm okay with it. But I won't for baseball. But I'll still follow it, so it's a yes from me. Wayne in BC writes in, and he says, you hit the nail on the head about hype in the CFL. I know that, Wayne. And that's why you're here. Because here you're getting the real goods every single day, whether people like it or not. And I've been saying it forever. You need to get out. You need to shake trees. That has never changed. How you do it, yeah, there's no newspapers anymore. There just isn't. Yeah, we'd love to pick up the Vancouver Sun and see what they're saying, or the Province. Do they even print them? Nobody's doing that. I kind of put that in my 10 Things column. It's at rodpedersen.com right now, the Monday Morning Goalie, in that I said what I believe didn't fill Commonwealth Stadium, but had the biggest crowd in a decade, was the influencers like Luke Wilson, like Chris Streveler, maybe this Zachy guy. I mean, Matt, he's been around for 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm seeing his stuff, but I don't really care what he has to say. I'm glad that you enjoy it. It is what it is. Streveler and Wilson are at least moving the needle. That's why they're called influencers. They're influencing people to buy tickets. What annoys me a little bit is I've been sitting here for 30 years doing that. So for the guys that have been around for 5, talk to me when you complete a season. That's all that I think you get that, Matt. So it wasn't the Edmonton Sun that was selling tickets. Again, people aren't seeing an ad in the paper and going and buying it. No, it was because of those guys. That's what I think. Now, it's very hard, as I've said for years. And by the way, I didn't, it wasn't me. I learned this from the owners back in the day. They're like, it's very hard to find out why people aren't going to the games because they're not there. What are you going to do while you're playing? Go into the mall downtown and go, why are you not at the game? You don't do that. It's very easy to poll your own people that are in the building. They are your fans. To go poll and ask people why they're not there, it's very hard to do. Kirk writes in, Vintage Sasko writes in. He says, hi, Uncle Rod. Happy Saskatchewan Day. The Elks dude Taylor got kicked out for contact with an official and an Olympic bronze medal dive. He goes, I didn't have that on my CFL bingo card. I mean, by the way, that's the other thing. Please, guys, it's only Monday and it's a holiday. Don't let me leave here pissed off. Please don't do that to me. But I went off on Thursday and Friday about the fact the CFL game notes said that Ken Austin's in the Hall of Fame. He mentored Caden Salter at Liberty. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He's not in the Hall of Fame. You should know this. You're the CFL. You want to control the Hall of Fame. You should know who's in there and who's not. That's that. And then I find out I heard, because I wasn't watching Friday night's game, the announcers referred to Argonauts great Terry Greer as Terry Green. I saw the uproar on social media about that. Can you imagine people saying Jimmy Rice instead of Jerry Rice? Terry Green? What? Where's the repercussions? It doesn't matter whether you're right anymore. It doesn't matter. They're not doing the research. They don't know the history, and it kind of annoys me Because when I got into the CFL, I wasn't the biggest football guy. I've said it a million times. But you know what I did? I bought a league history book, a rule book, and a directory, and I sequestered myself in a closet for 2 full days, read the whole damn things, and didn't come out until I was done. Nobody's doing that anymore. So, on the Blue Jays, I said they don't have a chance. Virginia Eric says technically they do have a chance, Rod, but you're right. It's over for the Jays. Look, unless it's a complete miracle, which the Jays don't have, listen to me. When they start getting, you got to go to ChatGPT. Just say it out loud. To figure out your playoff chances, you don't have a chance. Now, John Schneider can't go in the room and tell the guys that they can't, but we can. And furthermore, I mean, that's the thing where we have to rely on the coaches. I mean, the coach of the Millers is like half my age. The pitching coach is like my age. I think that's why we're closer. But we set a league record or a franchise record for wins. Did that yesterday with 4 games to go. Who knows how high it's going to go? We got players setting league records all over the place. It doesn't mean diddly jack shit when we get into the playoffs, and that's the coach's job to tell the players that. Because I worry a little bit, and the guys are here working out this morning. It's not my, trust me, I'm not going to be pulling them aside like some media guys do and tell them, hey, listen, you haven't done squat. That's not my job. My job is flowers and bouquets and make them all look like stars, and it's great. One of the mums, she's in Apache Junction, Arizona. She writes me, Brandy Glazner. She DMs me on Instagram. She goes, I just wish I was there so bad. That those fans in Moose Jaw just love that team. They're packing the park. I'm like, yeah, they love you win or tie. Just hang on. Doesn't always happen this way. Everybody loves a winner. I'm sorry. There's Carlos in Indiana writes, and he says, there's the Rod's rant for those who wanted one. What was it? I don't feel like I was ranting. I feel like I was just saying it the way it is. Oh, thank you. Arlen Bruce checks in. He says, great day, RP, on this random holiday. Shout out to my son and the Arizona Rattlers. They are advancing in the IFL playoffs next Sunday on Yahoo Sports Live. Okay, so they beat the Vegas Nighthawks on Sunday. That's Mike Davis's team. I never thought to look. We all just got to take a breath and just don't go ruin my Monday or week. You got the guy right. Hey, Rod, the Ivan Halinka tournament starts today in Edmonton, the World Under 18, and whatever the hell. Like the Indoor Football League playoffs, MLB, WCBL, this, that, the other thing. Oh, my God. 902-518-3033. John Ohm says, are the Miller games broadcast on TV, Rod, or just radio? They're on Flow College. We stream. It's like $30 for the whole year. Flow College Baseball. It's every NCAA and NAIA team is on there for $30 for the whole year. Flow College. And the viewership is bonkers. As I say, when CFL comes back next year, when 1 game a week is going to be streaming, what is the CFL doing to generate the hype to make the non-hardcore fans pay for it? I don't know. Crowds are getting bigger. The games are great. What's causing bigger crowds? Hype. And that's not happening on the radio because people are telling me they're not listening to it anymore. It's happening on social media. Where's the hype? It's getting bigger. Are you noticing? Anyways, we're going to have so much fun with Tad Kornegay, the Grey Cup kid, next hour. And he says he's got a surprise for us. I can't wait. We'll be right back with hour 2 after this.
In today's fast-paced world, we know you don't always have time to cook a nutritious meal. The Mad Greek in Moose Jaw's got you covered with delicious takeout and delivery specials, even for large groups or occasions. Authentic Greek cuisine, pizza, ribs, and more. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Offering licensed dining, delivery, and their takeout window is open to get your Greek to go. For more information and to view the online menu, visit themadgreekeatery.com.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
Wherever you are, whoever you are, welcome to the RP Show. And I say that because for some it's a holiday Monday, for others it's not. Clearly, we're on the air. I don't feel like it's that noble to be doing so. I think we can handle talking sports for an hour or two. And it's been a lot of fun, to be honest. We've learned a lot. Hi, we welcome Nevada viewers on Silver State Sports. We're on in prime time in Sin City. And we have got a hot discussion today that I did not expect was going to come up, and we're going to get to that right away. Our very special guest today is my good friend Tad Kornegay from Trenton, New Jersey. We call him the Grey Cup Kid, and I'm going to get him to explain to you why. It's coming up in the next segment for Prairie Panels. From Trenton, New Jersey, he's in the Fordham University Hall of Fame in Manhattan, and in the Canadian Football League, he won 2 Grey Cups. They call him the Grey Cup Kid. And by the way, I say if you've seen Kevin Hart, if you've listened to Kevin Hart, you've seen Tad Kornegay. And as Tad will tell you, he was around before Kevin Hart, so Kevin Hart's like him. That's the guest today. And he says he's coming with a surprise for us, so I can't wait. What's the top? Well, number one, as we come out of the weekend, my first topic here, the warm-up, which is brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel, the preferred travel partner of the RP Show and the BC Lions. When it comes to sports trips, great group travel, or your next great getaway, trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark with Uniglobe Carefree Travel. As Neil says, he is a huge CFL fan, and the Grey Cup Kid, Tad Kornegay, played for the BC Lions, won a championship with them, Calgary Stampeders, Saskatchewan Roughriders. We were together for 5 years. And he still likes me, Tad, because he's coming on the show today. And he broke into the league with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Anyways, point one's the weekend. I broadcast baseball. We had a record-breaking weekend. Our Moose Jaw Miller Express set a franchise record for wins. We had 2 players set league records for single strikeouts. Weston Walls, our big, he was in here earlier today. I said, how you feeling, Weston? He goes, good. I said, you should. 92 strikeouts on the season's a league record from Terrell, Texas, from the University of Incarnate Word in San Antonio. And Thomas Soto from Round Rock, Texas. He plays at the University of Texas at Dallas. Broke his own record for runs scored in a game. It was an awesome weekend. And we had a Saturday night barbecue. We watched CFL football. I'm a happy guy. That was my weekend. Point 2. Major League Baseball. This is what started the discussion, which is, we don't talk a ton of baseball here, but we could. The LA Dodgers have acquired the biggest prize on the trade deadline market, getting 2-time reigning AL Cy Young Award winner Tarek Skubal from the Detroit Tigers. That was Saturday night. People are still talking about it. Skubal got the news during the Tigers' 8-6 win over the A's and was emotional after the game as he prepared to leave the team that drafted him in 2018 and developed him into a star to join the 2-time defending World Series champions. So that's the poll question today, frankly. For EMJ Marketing Elite Speakers Bureau, there's a work stoppage coming up next year. And as I have said in all of Hour 1, I got enough going on in my life that I don't need to get into what the billionaires and millionaires are fighting about in MLB. I got a rough idea. The pundits are saying there's going to be a work stoppage, which really sucks as we get ready to have the A's in Las Vegas. The Blue Jays are coming off their World Series appearance. There is still Blue Jays hype, even though they're going to miss the playoffs, and they traded their ace, Kevin Gausman, to the Cubs on Sunday. What's a work stoppage going to do for your interest and to the game itself? A lot of people after 94, when the Expos were charging towards their first ever World Series win, a work stoppage interrupted that. A lot of people turned their back on the league and never came back. Clearly, that's something that the players and owners in MLB aren't worried about, or it's a gamble they're willing to take. But interestingly enough, our poll question for EMJ Marketing is, will you follow MLB after the work stoppage? It's 50-50, right? 50-50. I'll be honest, the only reason I'm back into baseball is because I'm working at a meaningful level in it in NCAA. And then I've gotten to know the kids. We have players drafted that are going to be playing in the majors. And I'm glad to be back in it. But I don't sit down and watch a game if it's not involving the Blue Jays. There's way too much on television right now. And anyways, the guys are writing in. I got a lot of friends in baseball. Like, where the heck is it here? I see Virginia Eric. Okay, so you guys were having I said the teams that don't have a chance, like the Marlins where I live, the Pirates, there's a lot of teams don't have a chance. There's a lot of teams that spend with the big boys and clearly don't have a chance. Look at the Mets. Then Virginia Eric had to look it up. He's a check Google. The Marlins won the World Series in 97 and 2003. See, now I could have told you that because I lived there, but also tell you something. I had to have a really good friend who was on the 97 Marlins, Greg Zahn, wears his World Series ring proudly. Has been on this show multiple times. We usually bring him on as we get toward the MLB end of the season. But you hear my owners talk. You're watching this show because there's great owners and there's bad owners. And you look at that owner of the Marlins. He's not the owner anymore. I believe his name is Jeffrey Lurie, because the owner of the Eagles is Jeffrey Loria. I always get it mixed up. But anyways, won 2 World Series, and after each one, traded away all the big-name guys, started over, and the Marlins have not been relevant for 20-plus years since. But just an interesting story about that is Joe Girardi is a gym buddy of mine in Boca Raton, Florida. Friends of Joe's have said to me, don't bring up the Marlins or Jeffrey Lurie to Joe Girardi when you see him at the gym. You talk about anything else, but don't bring up the Marlins. And I said, of course, me, why? Because he was fired because the owner was telling him before the game who to insert in the lineup, who to play where, batting order. Joe Girardi told him what he could do with his lineup, and that was the end of Joe Girardi. Some of us just can't bite our lip. Some of us have earned the right to not. He ends up going to the Yankees and winning a World Series the very next year as manager, Joe Girardi. Anyways, so yeah, and I go to the Marlins games. The banners are in the roof. 97 and 03. John says the work shortage equals greed. No, it does, bro. But the thing of it is, if any of us think that that's ever going to change, it's not going to change. So what that means is we have to change. And that's where the people make the decision of whether they're going to continue to follow and support the MLB or not. The only reason I bought a Marlins jersey or a jacket at the game this year was because I was cold. Like, I'm in Miami. I'm like, I don't expect to be cold. I go into the stadium, Lone Depot Park, and it was freezing. The roof closed and the AC pumping. I'm like, you guys leave this on from the outdoor hockey game? So, yeah, I don't really support it, but I support the Blue Jays. I have a lot of Blue Jays stuff. Virginia Eric writes in. He says, no salary cap needed. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays. They're always in the mix. Small market teams have to do it a different way. Life ain't fair. Well, again, I'm not interested in sitting down and debating that. You guys can in the YouTube chat, which, by the way, we're on Silver State Sports, as always, streaming on the Game Plus YouTube channel, WQVZ Radio. Your home for sports and sports talk in West Central Georgia and Eastern Alabama. I'm sure they're loving the baseball talk here. Arland Bruce checks in, two-time Grey Cup champion. He says, knowing Tad, who's our next guest, he might have the commissioner with him or the Grey Cup as far as what the surprise is. Tad says he's got a surprise. I can't even imagine that would be. He says, then he knows exactly what that means. Give this man a mic and sit back and enjoy. He's probably one of the funniest humans. Don't put too much pressure on him, Arlen. Tad is naturally funny. He doesn't even try to be funny. He was Kevin Hart before there was Kevin Hart. And that ain't putting too much pressure on him. He told me that. Tad said that, not me. BW writes in and says, bad owners of MLB teams only use them as tax write-offs. That's where smaller leagues like the WCBL are worth following. Well, as you guys have said, and it's taken 3 years for people to finally understand why I love this summer gig so much. It's perfect. All the guys come up here from the States, June, July, August. We play baseball. I announce it. They coach it, whatever. And then we all go back home to the States in great weather. It's the greatest job ever, greatest league ever. We just happen to have a team that's setting all these records. We've come together. I put it in. Go read my Monday morning goalie column, please, at rodpedersen.com, because I won't waste your time with it here. But I've never been with a team that's won 14 in a row like this team has, that does everything together on the field and off. And they include me in everything, and I couldn't be more grateful. What's not to love? Okay. Sponsor mentions. Our picks are for Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Saloon, Pump Jack's Cathedral, Pump Jack's Weyburn. Come early, stay late at the place where friends meet. A quick one. Point 3 will be a CFL wrap. I went 2-2 in my picks. We talked about it all of hour one. BC beat Winnipeg 35-19 last week in the CFL. That's week 9. Montreal beat Ottawa Friday night 34-13. Calgary motorboated Hamilton 44-20 on Saturday. And in the game of the week, which we knew it would be, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, my old team, beat Edmonton 28-26. So we'll get to the week 10 games tomorrow, but I went 2-2. We can come back on that. But we'll be talking a lot of CFL coming up next with Tad Kornegay, which, by the way, he asked if he needed to prepare for anything. And I said, unless you have CTE, I just want to talk about you and your career. If you can remember that, we're good. That's how we talk. He thought that was funny. Tad Kornegay coming up next. Point 4. Come on, guys. Help me with this. NFL training camp news. We didn't talk about it much in hour 1, but we will here in hour 2 in the Las Vegas hour. Again, a quick scan of ESPN.com headlines this morning. D. Lyman, Jadeveon Clowney signs with the Houston Texans. He's going back where it all began. Saints wide receiver Polk surprisingly retires. I'm just reading what the headline said. Soreness keeps Rams D. Lyman Myles Garrett out 3rd straight day. I'm sure he'll be fine. I really enjoyed the analysis from Murph the other day when I should have known. I said, Aaron Donald is planning a comeback, but he's not in camp. Shouldn't he be in camp? And Murph's like, he doesn't need to be in camp. Okay. 1:11 Eastern. There's a lot of offshoots you can go with the 1:11 thing, 11:11 Mountain for the live viewing audience. But let me just say, just live in the end is what they say. That's what I've been doing. Live where you want to be mentally, emotionally. Be that person. And then some people fall away. Some people come in. It's a good way to be. The ones that fall away, you don't want them anyways. So, loving the back together weekend coverage. I loved it. I guess it's over now. But the first weekend every year, I feel like a lot of you know it, but most of you don't. The NFL Network in 32 markets, 32 NFL markets, set a camera up on the sideline and they let it roll. Set up 3 chairs, and then they have a host or 2, and they just bring in the coaches and they bring in the players. They just rotate. That's old school. That's the way we used to do it. I could sit there for hours, and I do. I also put that in my Monday morning column. I said I used to feel guilty in the summertime sitting there all weekend watching NFL training camp coverage when we don't get a lot of great weather in Canada, but now I get summer year-round, so I don't feel as guilty. And of all I saw the coverage out of the LA Chargers camp, Tampa Bay Buccaneers camp. The one that stuck with me was the Raiders. And I'll say it again, like when you can have the coach come sit down and be interviewed by David Carr, which nothing against the hosts. I mean, I'm one of those. I didn't play pro football. But when you can have a guy like David Carr say to Clint Kubiak, you played for my dad. Sorry, I played for your dad in Houston. What did you learn from your dad? And Kubiak to answer that and then say, I learned that from him, but this is what I learned from other guys. And talk about their plan for the year and Fernando Mendoza. And I just find it hilarious. And actually, Tad can answer this question when he comes up next. I would be interested to know what a baller has to say. I guess it depends on the person. But all this coverage out of Vegas is all about Fernando Mendoza. The cameras are all on Fernando with the 2s. And Kirk Cousins is like, hi, I'm over here running with the 1s. I got Bowers with me and Genty. And that big center we signed in free agent, nobody cares. Nobody even watching them. It's all about Fernando Mendoza. I get the sense that Kirk Cousins wouldn't care. He'd probably be okay with that. Not every single rep is being analyzed to death like the typical NFL coverage because nobody's even watching him. 85% of the interview with Clint Kubiak was about Fernando Mendoza. He's not even going to play. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe people don't find it as fascinating as I do, but here we are. So point 1, weekend talk. Point 2, MLB work stoppage. Point 3 was the CFL Week 9 wrap. Point 4, NFL training camp coverage. Point 5, the NCAA. Oh, my God, we're almost out of time for this. The judge who granted the right to play another year of college sports to some athletes whose eligibility ran out last school year issued a new order on Sunday. She was working on a Sunday that makes clear that does not include football players who signed pro contracts this summer, then had a change of heart. U.S. District Judge Charlotte Sweeney responded to an NCAA request for clarity about her Friday ruling that granted a 5th year to athletes who graduated high school in 2022 were not included in the new NCAA rule that allows 5 seasons of eligibility for Division I play. You want to know how much power the NCAA has? She made the ruling on Friday, and the NCAA goes, we need a ruling on this, and it can't wait till next week. That's the NCAA. So she rules on Sunday. I'm not saying football. It's for everybody but football players. And we had a rule. We call it the Bresciani rule, which they had to get rid of. The Rod Bresciani rule. The guy played junior football, signed a CFL contract, played a year in the CFL, then came back and played junior football with the Calgary Colts back in the day. Hell of a story. Came back and played either junior or university, either way in Calgary at McMahon. So it happened. It happens. It's a very important thing. Speaking of important, Tad Kornegay joins us next.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back, Silver State Sports, Game Plus streaming, WQVC Radio. It's time for the always popular guest segment, and oh boy, they're excited today. It's brought to you by Prairie Panels, of course. The Grey Cup kid, Tad Kornegay, the pride of Trenton, New Jersey, Fordham Hall of Famer, Hamilton Tiger Cats, Saskatchewan Roughriders, BC Lions, Calgary Stampeders, two-time Grey Cup champion, West Division All-Star, Tadito Kornegay, the Grey Cup kid. What's up, Tadito?
What's up, my guy? How are you?
Hey, couldn't be better talking to you. Let's jump right into the pool because I'm getting old. The Grey Cup kid. Explain to our viewers, please, why you have that. That sounds like a Netflix episode title. The Grey Cup kid. Tad It should be.
It should be. It should never go away. It should be forever. I mean, out of my 8-year career, I played in 5 Grey Cups. Should have won probably at least 3, definitely 3. We all know that, but yeah, I played in 5 of my career. 2 played in see, you're right. I might get a little CT here. 3 with Saskatchewan, 1 with BC Lions, and 1 with Calgary. There we go.
I was actually joking about the CTE thing. And by the way,
which is not funny. It's not funny. First of all, not funny,
I know,
but it's funny.
Between you and me, it is. I say that to all the guys. 2009 13th Man Grey Cup is its own Netflix documentary, so you're going to appear in a couple. But it's funny. We have a lot of BC Lions fans that watch this show, and they started now 1-5. What are they? 2-5. But I guess kind of where your name popped into my mind, I was talking to Travis Lulay last week. We had Adam Bighill on, and you and Arlen Bruce, who's also watching. you and Arlen pretty much credit yourselves for saving the 2011 BC Lions season, or am I overstating that?
Oh, hands down, we are the credit. We made it a joke, to be honest. I mean, we because he wore 11, I wore 1. I mean, I wore 11, he wore 1, and we kept saying all year it's all about those onesies. That was our little joke. Shout out to Arlen, love you, brother. But it was definitely an impact to the team. I think we just were the missing piece to the puzzle, to be honest, because obviously a lot of experience on the team. It must have been a lot of frustration starting out the season 0-5. And I think me and Arlen just gave them a bigger spark, a new spark on both sides of the ball.
That's another Netflix documentary because Adam Bighill was a rookie on that team. You may or not remember. And he said he
I know. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Bighill was
he goes, what did I... Go ahead, Ted.
Oh, no, I said Biggie was still Biggie. You know, he was a dog even his rookie year. I mean, I knew he was going to be special in his career when we first met. But yeah, definitely, like what we did that year should be talked about forever. People don't understand going from 0-5 to winning a championship in any sports is unheard of. And what we did on defense, they don't talk enough about what we did on defense, because it was games that we didn't give up a touchdown. I think it was like maybe 7 straight. Nobody talks about it, but you know, offense is always the star of the leagues. So.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, I don't know. I just feel like as history goes on, this stuff isn't being talked about. I mean, it is in the NFL. It is in other leagues. It's not in the CFL. I guess I've taken it upon myself to tell these stories, get the guys. We've had a great run here. We've had Tressman on lately. We've had Hank on. Now yourself, G. Roy Simon. The freaking, as far as I'm concerned, the icons of the last quarter century of the league, and the stories are amazing, Tab. But just, by the way, tell me about that 2011 Grey Cup. We can talk about some other Grey Cups prior to that, but 60,000 people, BC Place Stadium in Vancouver against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and the game wasn't really close. It was a double-digit win for BC. What do you remember about it?
Everything. I mean, we walked into that game knowing we were going to win the game. I mean, from the dominance we put on the field all season on defense, and we all just had each other's backs. I mean, obviously, phenomenal offense with Bruce, G-Roy, Lule, just all the guys that were on that side of the ball. I mean, we had so much experience and so much confidence going into that game. There was no way we were not winning that game, especially being home as well. It was probably one of the best feelings I ever had.
I love it. Well, hey, sport is a little like life. I mean, you can't appreciate the good unless you've been through the bad. And I would say the 2009 Grey Cup probably is the worst you've ever felt professionally.
For sure. The worst. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, as you know. Losing a game like that after maybe 2 seconds you thought you won the game, and then you find out you got to go back on the field and experience that. It was tough. It was definitely a tough loss, but you know, it shapes us all, right? I mean, I was so happy when Saskatchewan got a chance to win it in 2014. It was it 2014, 2013?
2013.
2013. Sorry. Excuse me. 2013. Yeah, I went up there to that game. It was phenomenal. I thought the fans, Rider Nation, needed it. It was a breath of fresh air. So.
It exercised a lot of demons. And just so you know, Tad, I know you follow quite a what we're doing, but we are in prime time in Las Vegas every night, and they just love the CFL stories, and they are learning the history. So what Tad's talking about is last play of the game on the score clock. We were winning the 2009 Grey Cup against Montreal. We take a penalty, too many men on the field. They get to back up and kick another field goal, and they make it, and we lose with no time left on the clock. But I want to keep this a positive show today. Let's go back to your first 2007 Grey Cup, Rogers Centre, Toronto, which I think Skydome was called at the time. Saskatchewan versus Winnipeg. And by the grace of God, I was looking this up. You were traded in the offseason from the Hamilton Tiger Cats to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Jason French going the other way, and some guy I never heard of. Tad comes our way, and to be honest, the rest is history. You formed a very special group for us, and that was a special day, too, in Toronto. Talk about the 2007 Grey Cup. It was a 23-19 Saskatchewan win over Winnipeg.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. It was my first Grey Cup, first year of being on a winning team. I have my whole family there since I'm from the East Coast. That crowd was insane. I mean, that's what I knew. Like that year, obviously my first year, that's when I really figured out who Rider Nation was, right? I mean, they travel everywhere. We had more fans in Toronto than Toronto had fans. That was another game where, Ken Austin, he basically instilled in us belief, right? So we believed that no matter how the game was gonna portray itself, we were gonna come out with a win. It was obviously a little closer, but I mean, we had some phenomenal plays on defense from JJ Johnson.
James Johnson.
I only played special teams that game. I was a little upset about it, but I was the new guy, so I had to take a seat back. But yeah, man, it was a great experience. Couldn't have been a better time for the program organization as well. So, I mean, it was surreal feeling for sure.
Well, to be honest, what I'm loving about these interviews is things come up that I didn't really know. By the way, the viewer questions are always fun too, or stuff that I didn't like. G-Roy, every time I talk to G-Roy, something comes up that I didn't know. Like when he got traded from BC to Sask, the premier called him. The premier of Saskatchewan, Brad told, that was the first call he got from Saskatchewan. I didn't know that. I've known G-Roy 20 years. It's just that with you, I didn't actually know that you were in 5 Grey Cups in 8 years. You're actually talking me into Hall of Fame credentials here.
Yeah,
I mean, if you accepted a call from the Hall, I think, man.
Me Hall of Fame? No way. Unless they measure the least amount of touchdowns you give up, because I'm definitely one of the top that did that. I didn't give up a lot of touchdowns in my career, and I'm very proud of that.
These days, the Halls of Fame is more of a popularity contest, and you're pretty popular. Which by the way, I said you are the you were Kevin Hart before it was Kevin Hart. Jason and Red Deer said. I say that. Jason and Red Deer says, so if Tad is Kevin Hart, who in the CFL is The Rock? And don't say literally The Rock because he was on a practice roster in the CFL back in the day. I know who I would say. Do you know who, you off the top of your head, who was The Rock? If there's a documentary on the CFL, who would The Rock play?
Who would The Rock play? Oh, my God.
I got it. He's a teammate of yours.
It's got to, who are you going to say, Nick Lewis?
Luke Mullender. Look, it looks like it.
Luke
Mullender.
I would definitely say, as far as visuals, yeah. Visuals, absolutely. I think Luke thinks he's Rock sometime.
Right? Oh, my God. Oh, don't even. Yeah. But keep the questions coming in here for the Grey Cup kid, Tad Kornegay. But I'm saying 5 Grey Cup appearances, 2 wins. I don't know. Maybe for starting quarterbacks, just so you know, Tad, I have a an association with the Hall of Fame. I'm 3 for 3 in getting guys in. You have to apply.
Oh, nice.
Blah blah blah. It's kind of with a starting quarterback. If you have 2 Grey Cups as a starter, you're getting in. The Dave Dickinsons, the Henry Burrises, one day the Bo Levi, the Ricky Ray. My God, he's got 4. Which, as we're sitting here right now, who was the toughest quarterback? You played against some of the icons in league history, man. In the top 10 of passing, you played against them all. Cavillo. Obviously, Bo was a little after your time. Cavillo, Ricky Ray.
Bo was actually a teammate.
Was he?
Yeah, when I was in Calgary.
2012. What was your last year?
2012. 2012 was my last year.
2012. Right.
Rookie though.
Well, who was the toughest? Who was the toughest guy to beat?
Well, I feel like I came in. I say the good and the bad time of the CFL because when I was a rookie, I was thrown in the fire. This is when Damon Allen was still playing. This is when Dave Dickinson was still playing. So I got to see some serious competitors for sure. Out of all of them, I would have to say, even though I've only had 1 year against them, man. It would have to be between Dave Dickinson and Damon Allen. I mean, those dudes, even though they were at the end of their prime, Damon Allen was special. Like he was special. Like the things he did on that field was unbelievable, and I couldn't believe it. It was tough. I would have to say those two guys were something special that I got introduced to. Maybe because I was a 1AA kid that played football at Fordham University and didn't really see too much talent because it's one Division 1AA at the time. But that was different. That was something special. Seeing what they did. Yeah.
While you're here, tell me what it means to go into the Fordham University Hall of Fame, because I never asked you about that. That is it's pretty damn special.
It was surreal. Like, it was coming from Trent, New Jersey, small town in Jersey, not a very good city to grow up in, but you always have the expectations that, if you set your goals high, you just want to get out and do something special for yourself, for your family, and like that was just like ice on the cake for everything I've done as far as just try to represent myself, represent my family on a good manner. And for them to give me that honor was amazing, just for knowing that all the work I put in at Fordham. Like, because I was a consensus All-American, the one that finished out at the #1 corner in the nation. But I bust my ass to get it done, and it was great to be acknowledged by my alma mater for sure.
And tell me about Fordham. It's got some big names gone through there in the football program, right?
Yeah. It's a great school academically. I would probably say I would take some more credit at Fordham. Our crew was the first crew to win the championship for the league. We were the first group to win a Patriot League championship. So I can say that we set the tone for bringing in more athletes on. So, obviously it showed over the years that we were a good program, and we can play with the best of them. We started getting more recruits and started sending more guys to the NFL actually too.
Well, is it in Manhattan?
So there's two campuses. One campus is Manhattan, and the main campus is in the Bronx, New York. It's called Rose Hill. That's where the athletes are at, in the Bronx.
Okay. Well, I just remember walking by it. I was out for a walk in Manhattan. I'm like, oh, this is
yes. That was Manhattan campus. Yeah, that was the arts campus.
Didn't Lombardi go there?
That was all in the Bronx. You were looking for a stadium, and you were all in the middle of in the theater.
It was like, well, I just kind of ran into it. I wasn't really looking for anything. I was just walking by. But
that's the arts campus.
Yeah. How much you following the CFL now, Tad? Seems like a lot. I watch your social media.
Yeah, I'm following a little bit. I've been following more of the Riders than anybody else. I try to follow the BC Lions and the Riders, and sprinkle a little bit of Calgary, a little bit here and there, all the teams I played for, and Hamilton. But I've been following mostly Riders and a little bit of BC Lions for sure.
Okay, well, here's a fun one. I feel like we're doing like a hot stove here, like a sports banquet or something.
Okay.
We're going to pick one coach for one game to coach you as a team, rally the team before. It's just you and me. Nobody's watching. Who are you picking? Wally, Ken Austin, Ken Miller, John Huffnagel. You had some good ones, man.
This is awful. Why would you do this to me?
If you don't want to answer, that's fine. You played the fifth like Fauci 111 times.
I'm gonna throw out two. I'm not gonna give you one. I'm not gonna do that. I would say Wally and Etch for sure. I gotta say Wally and Etcheverry. I'm not leaving Etcheverry out. Etcheverry activated Tad Kornegay.
Where?
For sure.
In Sask?
Yeah, in 2009. Yeah, for sure. Accidentally. You want to bring somebody on, you should bring Etcheverry on.
I don't have time. Trust me, I would. I don't have time.
Oh,
It's only a 2-hour show.
I know.
Whenever I talk about
that year,
Etch, yeah.
That year in 2009.
I put a pen behind my ear.
It's a lot behind that year. The year 2009, I was moved to, I don't know if you remember, I was moved to a linebacker position.
Yeah.
I was moved to a linebacker position to basically, push me out by certain people that was actually in the organization at the time. But I flipped the table, and Etch recognized it and said, you know what? This guy is not who they think they are. He is a stud, and we're going to keep this position because he's going to be great at it. So Etch believed in my talent, believed in me, and he allowed me to just really be myself on the field. And it also created a new position on the field. There wasn't too many people playing that linebacker position. Me, Corey Banks at the time, so shout out to Corey Banks, one of the best out there.
Yep.
To do it. So it just, I think Etch's defense, whether they give him credit or not, it changed the game drastically for sure.
Oh, given all of that behind the scenes stuff, it was nothing short of a freaking miracle that we ended up in a Grey Cup based on mind you, I guess what ended up happening with the confusion, That also is not a surprise as the way stuff goes down. But again, we're trying to keep it positive. We only got a minute. Tell your adoring fans what you're doing these days, Tad.
A little bit of everything. Just being trying to be a tremendous dad every day, even though I feel like I'll lose the battle with these crazy kids of mine. I just got involved into commercial and residential furniture contract dealing. I have my own company called Innovate Furnishings. It's doing very well. It's got me back out the house, back out the cave. So now I plan on just, extending that business from America to Canada, to be honest. So, it's called Innovate Furnishings.
Well, give the guy a follow. Yeah, give him a follow on
sure.
social media. And you're coaching Deuce? You're coaching the Deuce?
I'm trying. We just got back from actually Cal Ripken experience down in Myrtle Beach. He did phenomenal. He's a stud, man. He did so well. I was so proud of him. Baseball he's definitely taking a liking to baseball and football, obviously. My second child, she's a pitcher. She does softball. She pitches for 10U and she's only 8. So I got some athletes here trying to get some NIL money since I missed out on it.
You and thousands of guys. But I remember when she was born and you said, oh, God, that's God getting me back.
Yes, sir. Now I got 2 of them. I got 2 girls now. It's crazy.
Getting you back twice as bad. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Tad, it's so great. It's always great to chat with you. Thank you for coming on. Keep in touch, my man. And you never know where I'll run into you one day.
Yeah, I know. I was a little surprised I didn't see you this year, but thank you for having me on the show always, man. Look like you're having a great time out here, man.
We are, man. We are. All right, Tad. Keep in touch. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
The Grey Cup kid, Tad Kornegay, joining us from New York, New Jersey. We'll be right back. We have a sports update coming up and viewer takeover the rest of the way. The RP show continues right after this.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference.
We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote your rebel, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back, everybody. What a sensational interview that was. And Tad has written in to the streaming feed. He says, thanks for having me, Brother Rod. FYI, I will be making an appearance at the Labor Day Classic this year. Well overdue. See you soon, Rider Nation. Tad, I would expect you will be at our golf tournament. Riders, Blue Bombers, Alumni Golf Classic the day before. Can we count on that? We would love to have you there. Here's the thing, what we were referring to at the end. Tad and I always run into each other in the most random of places. I was saying this earlier last week. I was in a bar in downtown Manhattan while my wife was shopping, and I just put that I was there. I don't know why. I put it on social media. I was there. I tap on my shoulder. Tad's came to see me. We had a nice visit. And then I'm on a ride at Disneyland with my wife and kids. Anaheim. I look who's in the line. Tad, Deuce, his wife. That was when Deuce was still in a stroller. Just random places. Or maybe I was sitting. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But it's just something about, as you can see, our energies match. That's the thing. So you run into people all the time. And then, another guy like that for me, Tim Hunter, Stanley Cup champion of the Calgary Flames. Every time I was bombing around Calgary, boop, I run into Tim Hunter. Walking out of a restaurant, walking into the casino where we were doing the show. Just odd, but good. These are good people. I'm happy to be on the same vibe as those guys. Virginia Eric writes in, he goes, man, I didn't know Bo has been around that long. Hashtag 2012. These interviews are gold. One day people are going to realize how great they are and how great they are for this sport and the league. Chad, he says, ha, 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 so random. He goes, hint, Rod's been stalking me for years. Well, you want me to tell you the stories, the other things I saw, Tad? I'm kidding. Shane writes in from Deer Valley, says, great interview, Tad. See you at the Labor Day Classic. He is his own PR firm, Tad Kornegay. Okay, there are other sports and things actually going on, and it's not as much of a big laughing matter. This one, FIFA President Gianni Infantino's controversial plan to allow private investors to buy a stake in the World Cup is dead on arrival, and the backlash has been so severe that it could ultimately result in Infantino being ousted from his post. My guess might be they were looking for a reason to get rid of Infantino after caving to Donald Trump in the round of 16 games at the World Cup, but I don't know. Not like I know soccer. CBS Sports has placed Tony Romo on leave until further notice following his recent arrest for a suspected OWI, operating while intoxicated. With Romo on leave, J.J. Watt will take his place in the booth alongside Jim Nantz. When I regularly say it's not 1985 anymore, or it's not 1995 anymore, it's not. I get that. The guys have to realize that. The guys of Tony's age and younger need to realize that. I mean, you screw up, you're done. That's just the way that it is. I mean, and you can't give that guy, i.e. the guy behind you, don't open the door for him. Tony Romo opened the door for J.J. Watt to get into the top CBS booth for NFL games. I can't see him getting out. And by the way, Cowboys coverage out of Dallas, the owner, Jerry, was asked about this. And I love the support that they're giving Tony Romo. Jerry Jones goes, you think that Tony Romo might know how to get up after he's been knocked down. I've been talking to Tony. Number one, you can't unfortunately believe anything that Jerry says. I'm sorry. I'm a Raiders fan. Okay, today I'm a Las Vegas Raiders fan. I just can't with Jerry. I mean, it's nice. He says he's supporting Tony. We'll see. You going to give him a job, Jerry? You didn't give Troy Aikman a job? I can't be triggered every time the Cowboys come up. This can't continue to happen. Japan's Shaiho Kawaki bested Germany's Esther Heinzeleit in a playoff to win the Women's British Open at Royal Lytham in St. Anne's, capturing not only her first major championship, but her first LPGA Tour title of any kind. And the LA Sparks shipped Kelsey Plum to the Phoenix Mercury ahead of Sunday's WNBA trade deadline, making the five-time All-Star the highest-scoring player ever traded mid-season. Overtime is coming up next. It's for our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes. We'll be right back here on the RP Show. Silver State Sports, Game Plus, podcast, and WQVZ Radio.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge. Big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Welcome back, everybody, for Overtime. Happy to have you with us on a holiday Monday, if that is a holiday where you call home. It is here. Again, not a real, to me, noble thing to be sitting here talking sports, but thank you for well, thanks for tuning in. More than anything, allowing us to entertain you. By the way, the sports update is for the Ultimate Fan Zone. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone, your authentic MLB fan store for official jerseys, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, and more. Game day every day at UFC. And this overtime is for Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. We'll be heading out there in a couple weeks' time for a couple live shows, including Theron Fleury's Golf Classic. Wayne writes in from BC. He says, I love me some Tad Kornegay. What a great player in person. Fantastic interview, Rod. Well, thank you. I would say we're starting the week off hot, having Tadito on the air with us, Tadito. Beep. Scott in Vancouver says, Kelsey Plum, former wife of Darren Waller. I mean, interesting thing when I started doing this show 1,790 episodes ago, and we're in season 8. I found it with the CFL guys, but I see it a little bit with the NHL people we do in our Florida show. When you have a guy on like Tad, I had him, we were together 5 years with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but he also played in BC, Hamilton, Calgary. Fans of those other teams are very interested to hear what these guys have to say, too. Who was it? Somebody from Vancouver wrote in and said, thanks for helping us win the 2011 Grey Cup. I mean, that's just great stuff. And I don't know. I just don't see a lot of people telling the stories of the league. This is a good thing as I sit down and I look at my notes. And by the way, tomorrow, still no Scruffy. He's at the lake. And good for him. He enjoys a break, my God. But I think about that block of time when I was the voice of the Rough. It was a big block of time. Like a generation. And I never had those weekends off to go to the lake, and I was annoyed. I had young kids. I'd like to take them to the lake. Everybody else is at the lake. But I also got to put food on the table. It wasn't bad. I'm just saying now, there's no kids at home. I'm happy to be on here on a holiday or working throughout the weekend, doing the baseball. What else am I going to do? But anyways, I started the show off with this, and I didn't say it in the Nevada hour, so this would be news to them, but I had friends go to the CFL game in Edmonton on Saturday, and I want to say their daughter's 5, and they went in there as Saskatchewan fans, and she had her sign taken away by security. Mom was violent, my buddy's wife, and I just said, hey, it was the kid's first ever road game. She's a big football fan because she played flag football. Now she loves football, tackle football of all kinds. And I said, hey, welcome to road games. I feel like the home security is not going to take signs from the home team fans. But I asked some people, have you ever had anything taken away from you while entering a stadium? I mean, I have not, but I mean, I've been in a million stadiums. I know. I'm not saying that they were consciously going in breaking the rules, but I mean, I wouldn't walk in with a sign. I don't walk in with anything. I'm literally the guy going through the security. There were some that said they had their dignity stolen while going to some games. That's a different thing. Well, Jason Redder says, what the heck did the sign say? I don't think it would have mattered, guys. It's not about what the sign said. I think it's about the size. I think it's about the fact that they were Rider fans. But you're like the third person to say, like Jason Redder says, what did the sign say? I don't think it was anything X-rated. Like it probably said, go Riders. It's not about that. It's probably a big sign. It's like, oh, you're going to block the people behind you. I can't say for sure. Carlos in Indiana goes, were they protesting the new rules? I'm pretty sure at 5, she's not worried. Yeah. Oh, well. And it's the Buck wrote in here earlier. He was like, you following that new Zaki CFL guy? I mean, I'm following everybody, but whether I'm being entertained or engaging is a different story. He's one of the few, like everybody is an influencer. Everybody, you got a Twitter account, you're an influencer. Let's be honest. And I saw so many people, including that guy, bitching about the fact there was no CFL games on Sunday. And I'm like, for the love of God, just bitch. I saw, listen, I'll say it. This Darshan in BC, Lions fan, he's just the biggest crap disturber of all time. It's 4 o'clock on a Sunday. Why are we not have any games? Because we had 2 on Saturday, man. Can you go for a walk? Can you go watch something else? Jesus, I'm so sick of people's bitching. My God. And I understand this is the only way I look at things. Like in the 2020 season, when the whole season was wiped out and we're going through COVID and people's lives were being ruined, I'm like, oh, man, I'll be glad when we get back to games. Do I need to say, in 2020, we didn't have games. Just be happy we got games. Stop bitching. But that's just me. Moose says I get upset bitching about people bitching. Brent in the Bridge City writes in, he says, looking forward to having Tad at the Labor Day game. Great interview and a great show, Rod. Enjoying it a lot. Have a happy Sask Day. Yeah, we're really getting into the our roots here. Jason says, I could see the guys at the Crush Can taking away my broom as the Pats were sweeping the Warriors back in the 1990s, but a sign? So it's the same mentality. I mean, the broom is a weapon. The broom's a weapon. But you were also a fan of the road team going into the stadium. You should have known. I think when you go to NHL games, I can't imagine signs not being allowed. I guess I see where you're coming from. Like, why wouldn't they let the sign in? I feel it's just because they were the home team, home security. So, yeah, that's what I wanted. Tell me if you've had things confiscated. Thank you, Jason, for that. All right, tomorrow it's just you and me solo in hour 1. I don't really know who's going to be the hour 2 guest. I got some ideas. But until then, take care of each other, and most importantly, take care of yourself. We'll see you tomorrow on the RP Show.
That